Welcome again to Digital Wandering, and today I'm bringing to you a very special computer. This is my 2007 or late 2007 white MacBook. This is my first computer, the first computer that I purchased that ran a desktop operating system. I had some mobile devices prior to this, but this is my first real computer. And as you see right now, it's running Mac OS version 10.6.8, which is Snow Leopard. This machine is actually able to run 10.7. I've actually shown the machine on this channel before that it was running 10.7, my 2008 MacBook, which is like basically the black version of this white MacBook. And so I don't really need to have two machines on 10.7. So although this is capable of running 10.7, I'm going to keep it on 10.6. And it's currently running 4 gigabytes of RAM, which is upgradable. When I first got this, it had 1 gigabyte of RAM, but I think about 70 gigabytes of storage. Had a mechanical hard drive, which I replaced, is now running now has a solid state drive. This machine is really special for me. And this is the first, that operating system is running right now, Snow Leopard, was the first operating system that ran only on Intel Macs. It didn't support PowerPC Macs. Where the last machine, or one of the last machines that I've shown on this channel was a iBook. Which runs, it's a PowerPC machine, and one of the only PowerPC machines that I've actually showcased on this channel so far. You know, looking at that operating system on that PowerPC machine, which was running 10.4 Tiger, there's a lot of similarities, and I guess my experience with Leopard and Snow Leopard really prepared me for a machine that runs Tiger, because there's the look and feel of it is very similar. So it felt familiar, even though that was the first time I've used Tiger. That was October of 2020, and that was my first experience with that operating system, but it still felt familiar because of my experience with Leopard and Snow Leopard. But I just wanted to show, now, on this channel, most of the time what I do is I want to show my use of these machines using a browser. I mean, that's my main thing when I use a computer. I use the browser. So I just wanted to show what that is like. Let me get rid of this virus definition crap. Okay, so this is the Safari browser on this version of Mac OS Snow Leopard. This browser has been really degraded recently, and it's not as functional as it was just as recently as 2019. So we'll see that. And right now we're on the Apple homepage, and Apple is doing some really cool things today. It's going to have one of their keynote presentations at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, where they will be showing off the new Apple Silicon Macs. So that's going to be an interesting thing. They've already talked about them a little bit on about 2 keynotes ago, but now they're going to actually be showing the hardware. So really looking forward to that. But you can see how on this version of Snow Leopard Safari that comes with that version. Let's see what version this is actually. Okay, so you can see 5.1.10. And this was as old as 7 years right now. Look, 2013 was the last time that this particular browser was updated. And you can see a lot of the elements on Apple's website are just not here. So it's not very functional. And it doesn't look that much different than what we saw on the browser on Tiger. Maybe slightly more functional, but not by a huge amount. And that's an interesting thing here is even on Tiger, the last time that was supported was in 2010, on a few websites, and I got to reach around the camera here, it's not that much different than this one here. And again, this website was way more functional as of 1 year ago. And Amazon is another website where it doesn't look that much different than what we saw on Tiger. It's about the same, which is really incredible to me, that it's not that much different. But this is what Amazon looks like. Again, very similar to what we saw on the Safari under Tiger. Let's look at some other websites here. We've seen two. eBay, I think, is fairly still functional. Last time I checked on Safari on Snow Leopard. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, so this doesn't look too great. A lot of the elements on the page are missing. I just want to see if I can pull up a product page. Let's look at what we're working with right here. Let's see, a MacBook. Oh. Doing this one-handed is not fun. Let's see, a MacBook from 2007. Let's see what that looks like. And I'm hoping oh, this is not looking that great. This doesn't look that much. This looks almost the same as eBay looked on the Safari under Tiger. Very similar. I'm not sure if this would be functional if you could sign into this eBay and make purchases. It looks like you could, but you're still missing a lot of the elements that you would get on a modern browser, at least on Safari. You do have other options here. You don't have to use Safari, but I wanted to start here just to see what it's like. I mean, Safari shows you where the other browsers that are more modern on this will be in a few years. Okay, Facebook. Let me just see something here. Let me look up the celebrity that I like very much, Tracee Ellis Ross, and she's a good celebrity to look up because she has all the social media. Oh, they thought I was looking for Tracee Ellis. Okay, I got to go up here. I don't think I can search there. Not like a modern browser. I have to search in the search field. I can't, apparently. I thought I was looking for a URL for Tracee. Okay, so I just want to see. I don't think Instagram works on this browser anymore. Let's just see what happens. It'll pull up a page but not show any content. Yeah. So Instagram is a no-go using the Instagram website. IMDb will definitely work because it actually works in Tiger, IMDb page. It's still loading here. It's very slow. Okay, there we go. So IMDb will work. Let me see, TraceeEllisRoss.com. Let me just see what happens here. If this will pull up and probably, okay. It's struggling. Yeah, it's not showing the page as it would on a modern browser. But I was really looking for, YouTube doesn't work. So this won't work. It doesn't work in this browser any longer. Oh, look at this. It's working again. YouTube is actually partially working. So look at this. So it will, if you click on a video, it will play the video. I had no idea that it would still work here. So YouTube actually still works in Snow Leopard. Although it's not, okay, it's working partially. Let me show you what happens if you go to the YouTube homepage though. You see how all the elements are missing here. So it played the ad, but it's not playing the actual video. So it says, please update your browser. And this is what happens from the YouTube page. So apparently if you click on a link to a video, you may be able to watch a video. Maybe let's see if we can watch this one. I did not expect this at all. Let's see if it goes beyond the ad. Because I've always tried to access YouTube in 2020 from the main page and it's all grayed out. So I just assume it wouldn't work at all. It's just rotating here. Still loading. So this is not looking good. The previous ad on the other video played. So yeah, it's okay. So yeah, YouTube is not functional. But what I was really looking for here is, oh man, where is her Facebook? Her Twitter? Let's see if we can get to Twitter. Twitter should, I think, still works. Okay, so it gives you a mobile version of Twitter. So yeah, you can still kind of access Twitter on here. But it gives you a mobile version of Twitter. It detects that you're in an old version of Safari and it serves that up. I think it does that with Facebook too. And I'm trying to see where her Facebook page is. I'm surprised I don't see that yet. Did I skip over it? Yeah, I'm scrolling so fast here. It's possible that I skipped over it. Yeah, I must have skipped over it here. Let me go back to 2 and 1. Normally the social media pages all come up close together in the alerts. Where's her Facebook? Here it is right here. It's really close to the top. So yeah, it serves up the mobile page. It does this also in Tiger. Although this version of Facebook on Safari is much better than the one on Tiger because it actually loads additional content as you're scrolling. In Tiger, it just loads the first few posts and nothing else. But here it actually keeps, as you're scrolling down, it keeps loading. So it is a mobile version, but it seems to be fairly functional, this version of Facebook, much more so than Tiger. So I just wanted to see what social media look like on here, if on Safari. Facebook mobiles is functional. Twitter is functional, the mobile version. Let's see a news site here. New York. And actually, before we do that, her Wikipedia page, because I'm pretty sure the Wikipedia still works on this version of Safari. Yeah, so Wikipedia still works. Where it doesn't work in Tiger. Tiger last supported in the version of Tiger that comes with the version of Safari that comes with macOS Tiger, last supported in 2010. You cannot get onto Wikipedia on that version. Here it pulls it up just nicely, and it looks like it would look on a modern browser. So Wikipedia still works. Twitter doesn't like, only social media. Facebook works on Tiger just barely, the mobile version, but Twitter is not accessible. So you can see how this, just being 3 years newer, it has so additional functionality. Having the ability to get on Wikipedia is huge to me. I need to have an ability to get on Wikipedia. So that's one of the sites that I really look into. More so than even, because I don't do any purchases on here. So just seeing if it can access things like Amazon is interesting to me, but or eBay, but I don't do any purchases on these old machines. I just use these for fun. New York Times, last time I checked, does not really display the main page well. You see how a lot of things are off the screen. The main page is just, the formatting is entirely off. But from my past experience, if you click on sections, that will display fine. You know, this is readable. It shows the proper formatting. So I don't know why the home page, I think it might have something to do with ads. Ads that appear on the home page kind of, this browser can't handle them, so it distorts the entire thing. But when you click on individual sections, they are readable. And that's just, if you even click on an article, so you can actually function here off the main page. in New York Times. A site like, let's see here. I'm really shocked about how YouTube, how that really, I didn't even think I could pull up a video, but it's, I wonder if there's a way to get it to work in Safari. So I'm kind of curious about that, but I'm not going to try to figure that out right now. Let's see. Well, this is Safari. That's enough we really need to see right now. But there are other browsers here, so you don't have to use Safari. I mean, Safari is the browser when I'm playing around with these computers. It's the one I like to use the most. But there are other options here, like Chrome. Now, Google Chrome, from past tests, and you see this version of Chrome is old and out of date. And this version of Chrome, I think, was last updated in 2016, so it's about 4 years old. Let's see if we can do the, where's the incognito window? Let's do that. All right. And let's just check out, let's just go, one of the last pages we went to is New York Times. Now, from my past experience, Chrome is one of the best browsers to use on this system. It's not the most modern, but it's one of the best. As you can see here, the home page formats just fine. Where it didn't format at all in Safari. Well, it might be, is it still loading here? Now it does look like it's missing some pictures and elements here. So this is worse than the last time I checked. And that's another thing here. When you working with these old browsers, what you find last week and what you find this week or what you'll find a month from now can be completely different. So although the formatting is well, it looks like a lot of elements are missing here. Some of these might be ads, but it looks like some photos are also missing here as well. But this is a better display of the main page than what you saw under Safari. And obviously, if you click on sections, it will look fine. Yeah, so this displays things a lot better than Safari. Now, if we go to, we're going to go up to Tracee Ellis Ross again. And as the Safari was last supported in 2013, this is a 2016 browser, so additional 3 years this was supported. Obviously, Wikipedia will work on here, but we can just show you. Just about anything that works in Safari will work here. And I believe Instagram still works in here. So it will display an Instagram page. It will load the entire page. There will be elements missing. Like a lot of these like emojis, for whatever reason, they never really show up. And she doesn't have any here on her. It's a part of her profile description. But a lot of times people use emojis, and they always do not show up on these old browsers. But you can see how this is still functional. But I'm thinking in 2019, Instagram was still functional on Safari. So how long would it last? Now, I'm also curious about the Twitter. Will this show the mobile Twitter or desktop Twitter? Okay, so it's showing desktop Twitter. It's not showing the mobile version like it does in Safari. See how that works? I have to make sure that everything I'm showing you here is in frame. I'm looking at the screen of the computer and not at the screen on the camera, so excuse me if occasionally it pops out of frame. Now, also YouTube will definitely work. Let's look at this video here. And it should pull up. So it's playing the YouTube video. It's still loading right now. So a lot of these other missing elements should show up eventually. Still loading. Normally when I do videos, I do mute it. So this is playing just fine. But actually it's not muted. I think the volume is just on really low. Let's see. But you can see the volume. I just pull it just to show you. See, the volume is just fine. But yeah, YouTube still works on this version of Chrome. And also you can go full screen. As recently as I mentioned many times, as recently as 2019, you could use YouTube in Safari. One thing it didn't allow you to do is it didn't allow you to go full screen. So you could watch the video in the normal window on this YouTube page, but you could not go full screen. That was not allowed. But it's still allowed in Chrome. And I don't know if that's just because Chrome is Google and Google is YouTube. And actually, let's look at some other things here. And YouTube makes sure, Google makes sure that YouTube is as long-term accessible on Chrome. I don't know. I really don't know. Well, this page sucks on Chrome too, so it doesn't look any better. Okay, it is. Okay, there we go. It does look fine here. Okay, so it took a while for it to completely load, but it looks fine right now. Okay, let's look at we looked at her Twitter. What's her Facebook? Here we go. So we got the Tracee Ellis Ross Facebook. Hopefully I don't seem like an obsessive fan here as all this Tracee Ellis Ross stuff. Now look at this. Look at this as comparison. This is the desktop Facebook. So not now Facebook. Let me see. Is it gonna let me? Okay, there we go. So we get the desktop version of Facebook here, not the mobile version. We had the M in front of the Facebook.com under Safari. Here we still get the desktop version. So this is a fully functional version of Facebook. So you can see in Chrome, it's still really good. Let's look at Amazon here. Amazon, last time I checked, should be fully functional and basically look like it would look on a modern browser here. Oh, I clicked on Twitter by mistake. Let's go back. And you may hear the fans right now. The fans are kicking in. Fans are letting themselves be known. Couple things I want to talk about here. I'm actually using a mouse on this machine in order to move and click because of the trackpad. The trackpad, I can move around the pointer, but I can't click anything. So that died. The clicking ability of this trackpad died. Oh man, that was many years ago. Probably about 9 years ago. That was the last real failure on this. Well, no, actually, that was the first real failure on this computer. The second one is now the battery doesn't hold a charge. And okay, other than that, this computer works pretty good. The trackpad only half functional, and the battery doesn't hold the charge. So as soon as if I removed the power, the MagSafe from this, it would just shut off completely. But as you can see here, this is great. Amazon looks good. Basically looks like you would see it on a modern web browser. And as you saw eBay on the last one. Oh, look at that. I hate when I do that. Okay. eBay did not look good under Safari. But look at this. Looks pretty good here. And let's just 2007 MacBook. Let's just do the same thing we did in Safari here. Let's see what that looks like. Here we go. See how this looks like it would look on a modern modern browser. Exactly the way it would look on a modern browser. So Chrome is probably the way to go, or definitely the way to go. It runs natively. I mean, you do have to search online to get a version of Chrome that works on this. I'm not sure if Google still hosts the page for these old versions of Chrome, but I think you can find it if you search for hard and long enough. But this is not the only option here. So that's Chrome, which still works really good, even though it hasn't been updated for 4 years. So one thing I do want to say is that I use these computers for fun. I don't do any serious work. Ideally, you shouldn't use old computers like this for anything serious, because they are a security risk, because they haven't been updated in multiple years now. For the most part, for the things that were designed for these browsers when they were new and still supported by Apple, and then a few years later, like Apple stopped supporting this Snow Leopard. I think the last updates were in 2013, but they announced in early 2014 that it was unsupported. And then third parties essentially stopped supporting it. Most of the third party browsers, the major browsers, stopped supporting it in like 2016. Like Chrome stopped in 2016. Other major browsers like Firefox. This is also, let me just open up Firefox real quick. I find Chrome to be, although this was supported as recently as 2016, the same as Chrome, I find Chrome to be a lot more functional than Firefox on there. And I just want to show you a quick example here. eBay just looks terrible. Last time I checked on Firefox's machine, it's just completely non-functional. Nothing shows up. I mean, this is really bad. And you saw how functional eBay was on Firefox. On Chrome, and on Firefox, it's just terrible, just not functional at all. So, let me see if YouTube will still work here. eBay is probably the worst example that I found on Firefox. It's still loading YouTube. Let's see if it works. Still loading. Okay, there we go. So it looks like YouTube still works on Firefox. And this is pretty good. Let's see if we can do full screen on YouTube on Firefox. It looks like, yes, it is working. So it does a really poor job. Let's just X out of this here. So it does a really poor job with eBay for whatever reason on Firefox. I mean, this is worse than Safari from 2013. The 2016 Firefox is when it comes to eBay. Other things, I think it might be a little bit better. Yeah, I think eBay is actually the worst. Like New York Times, let's just look at that here. I think that will look satisfactory on Firefox. So it might have been unfair to start with the eBay example, but that's the one that's most glaring. Yeah, this looks actually pretty good here. It looks basically the same as Chrome. So yeah, Firefox really sucks when it comes to eBay if you're trying to use that, but everything else basically is as functional for the most part as Chrome. Let's look at Amazon. See, Amazon still looks pretty good here. It's still loading, but it looks good. You can tell already. All right, so maybe slightly less functional on the limited websites that I've shown so far. Now, we also have here Arctic Fox. This is a fork of the Pale Moon browser. I've shown the Pale Moon browser on when I was demoing my 2008 MacBook running 10.7 Lion. So this is Arctic Fox with that Pelmu browser that I showed on that MacBook, the 2008 MacBook. It doesn't work on 10.6. Arctic Fox works on 10.6. The version that I have here was released in I think March of 2020. So this is actually the most modern browser that I have on this machine, running 10.6 Snow Leopard. So this is the most modern browser. Is it better than Chrome? I mean, not really. I think it's about the same. The functionality of this. I've had issues with Arctic Fox at times. I think it's crashed on me a few times. So it seems like Chrome is a little bit more stable. But this is the most modern browser. It's still being supported. There's a single developer, I think, that works on this. I'm not sure if he's going to have additional versions of this that will be functional in the future. One thing that's really good about these computers is that on the PowerPC machine, running the latest browser available for that, which was 10.4 Fox, and how it could not really run YouTube, 10.4 Fox, really on my machine. I have to be clear about that. The PowerPC machine, the iBook G4 that I had, where I demoed in that video, it really struggled. It was like a slideshow. It would play audio, but it could not really do video. But here, it's still functional. On the more modern browsers here, on Chrome, Firefox, Arctic Fox, we still have a situation where YouTube is functional. And other websites here. Let's see what the New York Times looked like here. Although the New York Times was satisfactory on both Chrome and Firefox, I just want to see if it's a little bit better here, because it seemed like some pictures and elements were missing on the New York Times website. Let's see if we get those pictures and elements here on Arctic Fox. Now it's still loading. Still looks about the same as in Chrome. Now look at this. Isn't this interesting? This I don't know if this is a video or a GIF or something. You remember how large it was on the other browsers? It's just it's very small here. So there's obviously the formatting is a little bit better here. Now I think this has some type of JavaScript thingamajigger on this browser. It is okay. And now look at that ad up here. It's really struggling to display this ad. That's what I'm assuming this is, an ad. One of the things when you use these old, when you use browsers or even hobby browsers that are still supported by single developers, a lot of times you got to jump between browsers to get individual things to work. So this is, in Chrome, Firefox, and in Arctic Fox, you can utilize websites such as even in Safari, you could use it a little bit. Websites like the New York Times, but you may find an individual website it works best in this one browser, and that's something when you're using these old, out-of-date computers. This is something you don't have to do with a modern computer. You just go to your favorite browser and it works. Any modern browser, you go to any of these websites and you don't have any issues or problems. Like the thing is, Apple's doing a keynote today, and I don't think I could watch that keynote on Apple's website. On any of these browsers, I don't think it will be functional. Now, one thing you will probably see here, this is the best. I wonder if I could look at the keynote on here. Would it work? This looks pretty promising. Let's see. This is the best Apple website that I think I could find on any of these browsers. It looks really good here on Arctic Fox. And as I mentioned in a previous video, I consider Apple's website to be the canary in the coal mine. Okay, so it's giving me some type of script error here. That's a stop script. Oh, this looks awesome. Now let's see if it would allow me to, just for a few seconds here. Okay, it's actually trying to download this for some reason. I thought it would just allow me to view this. Yeah, it's downloading. I don't know. I don't want to do that. But this looks great. The website itself in Arctic Fox looks fabulous. Let's just minimize this, and let's just show you what Apple's website looks like in Chrome, because I don't think we actually did that. Let's see here. I didn't set it up as an incognito browser, but fuck it. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, this looks pretty good here too. I'm kind of surprised. Is there any difference here between, this is Arctic Fox, and this is Chrome? Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, this is Chrome. Actually, it still looks pretty good in Chrome. Let's see what it looks like in Safari again. Oh my God, look how bad it looks in Safari. Apple, you should be ashamed of yourself. But see, this is 7 years old. Chrome is 4 years old. But Chrome is holding up very well. This is why I often state that even though it's old and unsupported for 4 years, Chrome really holds its own when it comes to being an effective browser in 2020, even though it's 4 years out of date. I mean, just about any website I throw at it, it handles it satisfactorily. I mean, there's going to be some websites that it just doesn't, I mean, I can't check the entire web, and I'm trying to check basic websites that you would use on a regular basis. And for those, Chrome does really well with it. Now, because I don't do any serious work here, and here's another thing. Let's look at Google Maps. Google Maps will, I'm pretty sure, will be functional still here on this version of Chrome. This here. Oh, wait a minute. That's not what I wanted to do. That's not what I wanted to do. This is what I wanted to do. Yeah, I mean, it's still functional here. Still functional. Okay, well, I've basically seen enough here. I'm really looking forward to Apple's keynote. Looking forward to what they have to show us. So with the new Apple Silicon Macs, see what they are like. I'm really looking forward to that. I am not going to be purchasing one anytime soon. I'm thinking of 2023 would be the year that I'm thinking about, because what I expect to happen with the Apple Silicon Macs is going. I think if it works out like the PowerPC transition, Apple released or started selling Intel Macs in 2006 when they switched from PowerPC to Intel, and within 3 years, they released Snow Leopard in 2009, and that was the first version of the operating system they released that was for Intel only. In 2006, when Intel Macs were being sold, they came with Tiger. Tiger was released in 2005. They came with that on board, and then Apple in 2007 released Leopard, and Leopard was for PowerPC and Intel. The first Intel only release was Snow Leopard 3 years later. So if they do the similar thing, and I think it's very highly possible they will do a similar thing this time, by 2023, they will release a Apple Silicon Mac only desktop OS, which will mean the 2002 release will be the last one that will support Intel Macs. And Apple tends to support their desktop operating system for 3 years. So that 2002 release, the last one to support Intel Macs, which I believe will be the case, that will be supported until 2025. So Intel Macs, the last they're eligible for that 2022 release, will be supported to 2025. And I think my current MacBook Pro will be one of those machines that get that 2022 release. And so it'll have support until 2025. So I think that would be Apple. I mean, it's what they did with PowerPC to Intel transition. And it makes a lot of sense to me. I think it'll be a similar, the transition that they do now will be similar. It just the timing of it just seems to be the most logical thing to me. So that's what I expect. But I'm looking forward to it. I think there's a great possibility with the Apple Silicon Macs, but we'll all find out with the keynote today. This is Digital Wandering signing off.